Alrighty, good day, guys. Welcome back to Stat Chat Sports. We are previewing every single final for week one of the finals. And of course, last game off the rank, Saturday night, 6:10 local time, Fremantle coming up against the Western Bulldogs at Optus Stadium. Home final for Fremantle. I think it's the first home final they've had since 2015, maybe 2016. But it's been a long time for Freo fans. They're back in the finals. Steve, I know they're absolutely amped about this game.
Yep, fifth versus eighth. It feels weird to talk about a WA team in finals. It's not the Eagles, and instead is Fremantle because it hasn't happened for a while. But the doggies only scraping through because of a Carlton slip up. So yeah, we've got two interesting teams, I suppose, to talk about. I think from Fremantle's perspective, I think Bulldogs is a good game for them. Not the best of seasons for the doggies based off of what they did last season. I think they were expecting a very different season, but it hasn't worked out for them. But they managed to scrape themselves in so they can, I suppose, right their wrongs and make a run in the finals. But it's looking at the sort of head-to-head stats that I looked at that went all the way back to 1995. So excuse me if you're going so far back, but it's just what the website took me to.
95.
95, yeah. Like we're going. I'm not just looking at this season. This is going way back. This is the two. They've never come across each other in a final before. That's not difficult. Fremantle again. Don't mean to take digs at Fremantle, but they haven't been in many. But
Jesus, ease up, Tiger.
But yeah, look, out of the head-to-head stats, Bulldogs have won 18 games and Freo have won 17, so they're basically neck and neck. In that regard. In the last 5, at least, Bulldogs have won 3, Freo won 2. Freo beat, obviously, Bulldogs in round 21 of this season at Marvel. Relatively comfortable game, I suppose. So they'll feel confident, especially with this one being at Optus. The Dockers are 2-1 against the doggies at Optus. So good chance for Freo to make a run in the finals, starting with the Dogs.
So let's talk about the Dogs. Obviously, just scraping in at the death in round 23, thanks to a Carlton collapse. Tazza, let's run through this because the Bulldogs have had it's been a miraculous run for them in the last 6 weeks. They've won 4 of their last 6 in the run home. Some clutch wins, classic win against Melbourne. Just managed to sneak their way in. Are they a team of destiny? Is this 2016 all over again?
Well, that's the thing. They've got form. They've done it before. I mean, why can't they be? And maybe they're peaking just at the right time. Maybe they're finding their form. Everyone's coming back in. Josh Bruce is back. Maybe he's just got enough with the team to really start to gel, and this team comes together and wins it all. I mean, it's done. It's happened before. 2016, it was. I mean, 3 of us were at that game, and it was a bloody good game. It was amazing. But yeah it was. Why not?
I mean, they made the grand final from 7th last year as well, so they certainly have form. BT, let's talk about Freo a little bit. So, awesome start to the year. Fremantle was up and about. Everybody, I mean, us on the channel, I think we had a video about Fremantle finishing top 2. So, we were certainly buying into the hype. They have had a down patch, but most teams throughout the course of the year will have a down patch, So they lost a few games. They had the Richmond draw. So they haven't performed terribly well against top 8 teams. But, of course, they did recently beat the Bulldogs away from home.
Finals is completely different, in my opinion. And I think I touched on this bit earlier in the season. Fremantle, when the pressure goes up, there's maybe a handful of games where the pressure was like a finals-like pressure, and they just caved. They cannot hit a target when the pressure's on them. And like we said, Bulldogs, they know how to play finals footy. they're hitting form at perfect time. That I don't know how Fremantle, if Fremantle play that uncontested game, which they've done most of the season, and Bulldogs allow that, then it's a Fremantle win, I think. But if it's a typical contested high pressure finals game, then that's in favour of Bulldogs. I don't know how Fremantle's gonna. I just don't know how they're gonna play, and it's just hard to comment on how well they'll stand up in finals.
Steve, a couple of big potential ins for Fremantle. Matt Taberner, at the time of recording this, he's touch and go whether he's going to make it back in the team from his calf issues. And Nathan Fyfe, the West Australian, the newspapers, the media, they have been all over Nat Fyfe for the last few weeks. Hamstring, is he good to go? Pictures of him on the front page of the paper. He's a really important player for Fremantle if they're going to be a chance in this game. And sort of what role is he going to play if he is fit and good to go?
I think the role that he would play is obviously he'd bring his leadership and he'd bring some experience to finals footy, because there's not many of that young squad that have had that experience in finals before. So that's all. I feel like that's all he'll bring, really. He didn't do much when he came back from his long-term injury this season, which I didn't really think he would. It depends, I suppose, where he's going to play, but I think he might just bring a sense of calm and a bit of leadership to the young boys, because that's what they're lacking. But I can't see him impacting a game all that much, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. The Eagles fan in you, I think, coming out a little bit. I like that. Very good. Tazza.
Okay, is it not a fair comment?
Oh, I mean,
I completely agree.
Oh, mate,
Thank
you're
you.
spot on. 100%.
It is a fair comment.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not getting labelled as a Freo hater here because I support the Eagles. That's all.
They were playing better when Fyfe wasn't there. And then he
Thank
came
you
back, and
very
that's when
much.
their form
Thank
went down.
Very much. Thank you very much.
This is a very contentious topic amongst West Australians. Is Fremantle better off without Fyfe? And it is a hard argument to say that you're better off without a two-time Brownlow medalist in your midfield. But sometimes they do look better. That midfield's been gelling beautifully. Brayshaw's the number one man in there. He could potentially win the Brownlow medal. So I understand what you're saying completely. But, I mean, Fyfe is a contested animal when he's at his best. The question is he going to be at his best? And I'm not sure he is right now. So, yeah, I see your point. I've just got to play devil's advocate. I've got to. Anyway, Tazza, a tip from you. Do you like Freo or do you like the Dogs?
I think this game really needs a conditions check, because if there's any team that can't handle the wet, it's Freo. And look, I don't really know what the weather's going to be on Saturday night, but I presume, I don't think I've heard any threat of rain just yet, but I'm going to go Freo. I think they can. I think the way it's going to go, I think it's going to be a real contested affair to start off with. The Dogs will get you
4 to 8 mils forecast.
Oh. Reverse. It's the Doggies. The Doggies are getting up, unfortunately, because Freo cannot play in the wet.
I like that. That is the reverse right there. I've never seen it so quickly. Steve, who's your tip, mate?
I'm gonna back the Doggies. And I already know what you're thinking and what you're going to say, so I just don't even know if I need to go any further, but I will. I'm going Dogs purely based off of experience, and I've said it from the point where it looked like the Dockers were going to finish up in a final spot anyway. I'm pretty sure I would have called it then. If someone can find a clip of it, prove me right. But I'm sure I would have said somewhere that if they make the finals, they won't win a game in it because they just don't have the experience. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'm on the Dogs as well. I mean, I'm rousing you up a little bit, but I think the Dogs are going to win this. I don't think it's going to be close either. I think, yeah, like you said, Fremantle, they need to get in the finals. They need to taste it. They need to experience the heat. The Dogs are battle tested. They're going to come over here. They don't fear coming over here. They don't have a problem coming over here. Even though they did lose the grand final last year, and that might have a couple of scars for them. But yeah, I think the Dogs are just going to come and run over the top of them. And they've run into September with some good form. So I like that. BT, are you going Fremantle, or are you with the rest of us?
I'm the same with you guys, but I think this will be game of the round. I think it's going to be a very tight game, but I think Bulldogs experience will get them over the line. And Bont and Pellinger have a huge game.
Yes, yeah, we like Bont. Very good. We're all on the Dogs. If you're a Fremantle fan watching this, let us know in the comments why you disagree, why you think that the Purple Army is going to get up and flag mantles up and about. If you're a Dogs fan, let us know. Is this 2016 all over again? Do you feel more comfortable with your team coming from the back with no one expecting the rise, and then bang, there they are, they're in the grand final? Is that just how you operate? So let us know how you're feeling ahead of Saturday night's final in the comments below.